What's up, guys? My name is Porter, and I'm with the Radical Sports Network. Today we're going to go through our picks for college and pro football. And first up is Bama versus LSU. Sam, go.
I got LSU in this one. I mean, their defense, it's better than most NFL defenses. And you got these young quarterbacks at Bama thinking they're going to come up in here and beat LSU. I mean, you got A.J. McCarron sitting behind Greg McElroy all his life. You've heard the comments he's made. He's not a very good guy to sit behind. Then you got Phillip Sims, our boy from Oscar Smith here, but he's a freshman going up against guys like Tyrone Matthew, the Honey Badger. He's just going to get ate alive if they even put him in. I mean, McCarron, he's bad in these tough situations. Haven't you seen him this season?
Hey, but wait a second. Did you even mention the Heisman candidate? You know, the train, Trent Richardson.
Oh, yeah, it's easy for him to put moves on Ole Miss and teams like that.
Trent Richardson has done it for years. Even with Mark Ingram, he's still produced. And he's just going to run over that LSU defense that has played weak opponents. Other than Oregon.
Weak?
Oh,
so you're going to call West Virginia ranked? West Virginia weak.
I'm calling them
the
fake.
SEC team.
I'm calling them fake.
Weak.
I'm calling them fake. West Virginia's a fake team. Anyway, the point is, McCarron is going to keep the ball, and he's going to be a game plan guy. He's going to game manage.
You can't manage a game against LSU. You have to be an Andrew Luck or an RG3 caliber quarterback to even touch this defense.
Marquise Mays
A.J. McCarron is none of those.
Marquise Mays is going to burn the Honey Badger.
And I've even talked about LSU's offense. You got this two quarterback system sitting here.
Yay, muffin.
You got this two quarterback system here. Against this weak Bama defense. They lost everybody. Jordan Jefferson, the running quarterback, but he can sling it around a football field.
We can't even talk about Alabama's defense, who has 7 first-round picks on defense. Most of any team in the last 50 years. 50! And that's leading with Mr. Hightower, the middle linebacker. He is going to plug up the middle, and they're going to have to pass the ball with 8 men in coverage. Have fun with that.
All right, well, obviously Sam is with LSU and Blake is with Bama, so I'm going to ride the train with Sam and go LSU. Next is Arkansas versus South Carolina. Blake, go.
Well, in this one, I'm going to like South Carolina. Because although it may seem like a little bit of a blowout. But Connor Shaw is a very good quarterback. He has been behind Stephen Garcia, and he's watched. Stephen Garcia, all he does is go out and drink and party and get girls. Yeah, never mind. That's not the point. The point is Connor Shaw is a good quarterback, and Alshon Jeffrey, top 5 pick in the NFL. I really believe it, that he can go over anybody, including your Honey Badger. And I don't care if they hadn't have Lattimore this year. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he got hurt for the year. Still think they're going to be pretty good. What do you think, Sam?
You know what? I'll give it to you. Alshon Jeffries is a good wide receiver. Yeah, he can jump. But if you don't have a quarterback who can throw the ball in the air, it's just going to get picked off every time. Because if you put 2 guys on Alshon Jeffries and you got Connor Shaw at quarterback, Jeffries ain't even getting the ball. Seriously, Connor Shaw is pitiful. Last year comes in, sucks it up. Horrible. South Carolina loses Lattimore. Their offense.
Okay, he may be the offense, but Connor Shaw, 6 touchdowns and only 3 picks this year. Pretty good. In 3 games. 3 games started. What do you say to that?
How many times has he thrown the ball? That's what I want to know. Probably thrown the ball 9 times. All 6 touchdowns, 2 yards to Alshon Jeffries. Seriously, it's not hard to snap it at the 2-yard line, throw it as high as you can, and catch it. It's not hard.
All right, so Sam's with Arkansas, Blake's with South Carolina. I'm going to again go with Sam with Arkansas. Next up is Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. Sam, back to you.
I got OK State, Tyler Weeden. All I got to say.
Are we retarded in here?
Him and Justin Blackmon. That's all I gotta say. He blows your little Alshon Jeffries out the window. Alshon Jeffries can jump.
I'm pretty sure the phrase is out the water, but okay.
He kicks him out the door. He eats his lunch. He eats his dinner. I mean, he kicks his butt. Alshon Jeffries, he can jump. He's big. Blackman's big, fast, jump, great route running. I mean, if you think that Alshon Jeffries is a top 5 pick, then Blackmon must be going number 1 overall. Because Blackmon is the epitome of a wide receiver. And then you got Tyler Weeden.
Are you done?
Great quarterback. Just to dish him out the ball.
Are you done yet? He's also 28 years old. That kind of helps. But the point is, we got a guy that's under the radar in Kansas State with the quarterback. I know they got blown out by Oklahoma, but let's leave that in the back of our mind.
Yeah.
We're talking about
back of our mind.
We're talking about Stephen Klein here. We're talking about Stephen Klein.
Stephen Klein. Show me something.
16 rushing touchdowns this year. That's more than most running backs have this year.
Not hard to do a QB sneak at the goal line.
He's averaging 90 yards rushing a game. Running backs wish they could do that. Running backs wish they could do that. That's all I gotta say. Although their team is a bunch of undervalued guys that get the job done. That's all they could do is get the job done.
So that's all they can do.
But
all they can do.
They get the job done. Doesn't matter. They have a star quarterback and guys to get the job done. That's all you need in the college football.
Blackman's a one-man receiving core. That's all I got to say. You can throw 4 wide receivers out there, and Blackman blows every one of them out of the water.
Game
All right, me and Sam are with Oklahoma State, and then Blake is always on the other side with this time with Kansas State. All right, now it's going to be our upset picks of the week. Sam, who do you got?
I got Northwestern over Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't impress me. They played an Ohio State team, had to come back. Ohio State's been through so much, and they had to come back in that game. Nebraska shows me nothing. And Northwestern, they have an undervalued team that can go off at any time. I think they're going off.
I thought you said undervalued doesn't mean anything. What happened to that?
I didn't say it meant nothing. Okay. I just said Blackman would blow you out of the water.
Okay. Blake, who's yours?
Mine is a little team up northwest, Washington, over Oregon this week. I know Oregon just got back in the top 6, and everybody's going, ah! But they're really not that good. Look at the teams they've played since LSU. Piece of cake. Backup quarterback, and no Michael James tonight. I don't see them going into Washington and beating them.
All right, and my upset pick of the week is going to be the Oregon State and Stanford game tonight. All I gotta say, Andrew Luck is asking for it. That pesky Oregon State defense is going to just jump all over him. He was going to get eaten alive.
Okay, well now I think we gotta move on to the NFL. And first, let's start out with your little bandwagon Redskins team, Porter. And let's go them Redskins versus 49ers. Let's go.
Okay, I don't understand how I'm a bandwagon for the Redskins because the Redskins...
Because they used to be good, not now.
Because they used to be good? They were good before I was born, Blake. But this week, I think John Bett, this is his last chance. Mike Shanahan is not having it with him. If he's just going to go out there and just go off if he wants that starting position.
Yeah, who are they going to put in after him? Kellen Clemens?
Hey. Rex Grossman is going to be able to come back if John Bett doesn't handle it.
Oh, so you got Rexy in your back pocket.
Rexy.
So he's your ace up your sleeve. San Francisco in your face.
Patrick
West Coast.
Patrick Willis up in your face.
Frank Gore up in your face. That little Redskins defense is a bunch of old farts running around the field that, I mean, they can't even win a game when they're faking the snap count against the Cowboys. I mean, seriously.
Okay. Well, that personally, me and Sam got the 49ers and little bandwagon Porter got the Redskins.
Still don't understand who's a bandwagon.
I don't care. Moving on. Next game, we got Big Mouth Rex Ryan against the Buffalo Bills. No one circles the wagons.
Like the Buffalo Bills. I'm going for the Buffalo Bills. Even though they just killed my so-called bandwagon team last week. I still think they're a great team. Fred Jackson is an amazing running back, and they're just going to run all over that Jets defense.
I completely agree with you this
First
time.
off, Jets defense. Great rushing defense. And corners like Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie, they don't fall for that play action or run action stuff. They just don't do it. And that's what the Amish rifle does best. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Don't get me started.
3 interceptions this week.
Do not get me started about Mark Sanchez. He is a weenie. Straight up. He does not have the arm strength or the mind to make to be a great NFL quarterback. You gotta have awareness. He does not have it. He doesn't have it. When you compare him against Brady or one of the elite quarterbacks, he doesn't have it.
You don't compare him against Brady. Never said Mark Sanchez was great, but he's a game manager. And the Bills, last I saw, their defense doesn't impress me. It really doesn't.
You're a game muffin.
I mean, seriously, all Sanchez has to do is score 13 points. Bills ain't scoring a point. 13-0 Jets.
Okay. Next up, we got the Texans versus the Browns. Blake?
Easy. My team, the Texans, gonna go kill. Kill. Aaron Foster up in your grill, plus Matt Schaub going deep to, well, I really don't even know because we don't have Andre Johnson right now, but it doesn't matter.
So you're throwing the ball to Jacoby Jones now. I'm so scared. I'm quaking in my boots. Oh, I got Colt McCoy running your Wade Phillips defense off the field. Browns 36, Texans 28.
Well, didn't Wade Phillips, wasn't he the head coach of your little Dallas Cowboys team? Wasn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't y'all go like 1-7 to start with him or something like that?
Who was that one team that we beat? Houston Texans. So if you're going to trash talk me, you better look at your own team first.
Well, I just completely agree with Blake. Arian Foster coming off a big injury, he's just going to punch up those
and he has
Browns
been too.
defense.
Big injury.
He has been.
Big injury. What did he do? Stub his toe?
He's been out for 5 weeks, right? 5 weeks? Anyone?
Porter? It was like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
And the beginning of the season. He's played like 4 straight weeks.
Remember, he tweeted his,
his hamstring. Oh, yeah, real smart. Hey. Don't you love those smart running backs running through those difficult holes to see?
Okay.
Big gummies.
You guys are making me look stupid here. Next up, Saints versus the Bucs. Sam, go.
Saints. Drew Brees coming off an embarrassing loss. I mean, he just doesn't have it. He will not take no for an answer. He is going to go out there. The Bucs have already beaten him once this season. He didn't like that. He's going to go out there, and he's going to stomp them. Stomp them.
You know what?
Saints 34, Buccaneers 15.
I'm saying it right now. Josh Freeman has had a bad year. What makes you think he'll have a bad year all year? Did you know he only threw like 5 picks last year? The thing is, you got LeGarrette Blount coming off his injury. He's coming back. LeGarrette Blount. And the thing is, guess what the Saints did last week against Steven Jackson?
Gave up 150 rushing yards. And that's what you fix with a week of practice.
Okay, but LeGarrette Blount will try, and I think he will have at least 90 rushing yards in the game.
So you're going to throw LeGarrette Blount, fresh off an injury, out there to the Wolves.
The Wolves?
He's going to get eaten up.
Yeah, both of you, I do see, you both have valid points. LeGarrette Blount is going to have a pretty good day against that Saints defense after letting Steven Jackson run through them like that. But yes, since Drew Brees did have a terrible game last week, after that pathetic loss, he will do amazing. Next up is the Falcons and the Colts. Blake?
Well, I'm going to get bashed for this. I know I will. But I think the Colts might actually find a win here. It's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. I agree with him fully.
Okay.
Curtis Painter. I'm just saying, he's going to make that connection with Reggie Wayne that everybody's been missing.
In Indianapolis, they have really been missing that.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Matt Ryan and Roddy White, they're just going to be connecting all night.
But
All
hasn't
night.
Roddy White been really disappointing this year, don't you think? Just a little bit?
Porter, I think the correct words would be Matt Ryan getting scared in the pocket because he's got ice in his veins, right? He's Matty Ice, right? Oh, he doesn't look like that to me. He looks like a scared little boy in the pocket.
Okay.
But I do think Michael Turner will have a good game. I do believe that.
Okay. Next is the Rams versus the Cardinals. This is going to be one of my favorite games this week. And I'm going to go...
crap bowl.
the crap bowl. I'm going to be going for the St. Louis Rams. Even though Bradford has been out, I think Steven Jackson is just going to keep rolling on that amazing streak that he's got going right now.
Amazing streak. One game. One fluke game. Fluky, fluke, 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 fluke.
Fluky, fluke, 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 fluke. Anyway,
No
Cardinals.
Kevin Cobb, no worries. We got John Skelton, who led him last year, throwing it up top to Larry Fitz.
Have you ever seen his fantasy football picture? He looks retarded, John Scott. He looks like a retard. Okay, that's beside the point. Anyway, all he has to do is go, hike, Larry Fitzgerald. Hike, Larry Fitzgerald. Oh, look, Beanie Wells. Oh, Beanie Wells. Oh, Beanie Wells. He doesn't have a problem. And that defense is shaky, but it's okay.
So next, we got the Raiders and the Broncos. Who y'all got? Y'all been Tebowing this week?
I am going to be Tebowing all week. This week,
keep
all Sunday.
Tebowing. Keep Tebowing. Keep Tebowing.
Tebow is amazing. I don't care what you say. I don't care if he just lost to Detroit last week by just an embarrassing loss. Tebow is amazing. He is going to run all over that Raiders defense.
I think Carson Palmer is going to be Tebowing all over y'all. Had a bad first week. Got the bye week to sit there, practice, learn the playbook. And he got a Michael Bush. Yes, Darren McFadden. But Michael Bush, very underrated running back. If you let him, he's going to run all over you. Literally, he's going to run over you. And Carson Palmer, he doesn't have to do anything spectacular.
He does not run
Because
DNC.
Tebow will, I guarantee it, Tebow will not get over 150 passing yards, and he will not get over 60 rushing yards.
Okay, but do you believe that with Willis McGahee coming back, that he could help Tebow and get some rushing yards on that Raiders defense? Do you agree with that?
Do you want an old Willis McGahee who's had a history of injuries coming back, and you're going to depend on him to give Tebow some room? No. And then you're going to depend on Noshawn Moreno?
You're still giving me flashbacks of that game against Ohio State where his leg just went, ugh.
Don't you mean backwards?
It is backwards.
Okay. Next up is Seahawks versus Cowboys. Blake?
You know what? Yeah. How many Cowboys fans we got? Oh, yeah, Sam's a Cowboys fan.
I'm raising them high, tipping my cowboy hat to you.
Okay. Well, Tavares Jackson's coming back, if anybody knew. He's coming back from injury. And I think that every time that he's played, he's connected with Sidney Rice. At least once for a 50-yard completion. I believe he'll have 3 this week. Sidney Rice has 170 yards and 3 touchdowns. Seattle wins 31-28 against Tony Homo.
I got my boys rolling all over them Seahawks. Who they got? Marshawn Lynch. Is he going to break 9 tackles again like he did against the Saints? And we got Tavares Jackson. I mean, wasn't he supposed to replace Brett Favre or something? Yeah, that didn't work out too well. I mean, seriously, the guy can't even throw the ball. All he can do is run. He's like a glorified running back, standing there with the ball. I'm pretty sure if I threw Darren McFadden back there, he could be a better quarterback.
That's mean. That's really mean.
And then you got Tony Romo, who didn't really connect with Miles Austin, Dez Bryant against our beatdown against the Eagles.
That's just straight up cold.
You were going to see Dez Bryant and Miles Austin get over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown each.
Okay. Coming from a Redskins fan, I actually agree with Sam. I know.
Why would you agree? Because Seattle's really that bad or something?
Seattle was really that bad. Doesn't matter if they made it to the playoffs last year.
Didn't they beat the Giants this year at in New York.
They did.
That was a fluke game. It's just because Victor Cruz can't catch a ball one-handed.
What's your issue with fluke? I mean, come on.
Fluky, fluke.
Okay, whatever. We'll just move on from that. Next is Packers versus the Chargers. Blake?
I got the Chargers in this one. I know that sounds dumb. With Phillip Rivers having the most disappointing year, me drafting in the first round in fantasy, and he sucked all flipping year for me. But I think this year, in this game, he throws for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, breaks out of the slump, and he's going to do well in this game.
You know, Blake, you almost grabbed my heart with that story until you said that the Chargers were going to beat the Cheeseheads. Aaron Rodgers, up in your grill. He's going to eat your children for lunch. Phillip Rivers, 150 passing yards, 3 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers throws for 450 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Are you talking about like a Michael Vick type game?
No, a little bit better.
Okay, I'm going to agree with Sam. The Packers have been undefeated throughout the entire season, and I think they're going to hold that up. They're going to get their 2nd Super Bowl this year. They're going all the way.
Do you think they're going to win every game?
They're going to go undefeated.
They are not the Miami Dolphins.
They are going to go undefeated.
They will lose at least two. They will
not lose a single game this year.
They'll lose the Lions.
Yeah, that Thanksgiving game.
Plug to the TV. Lions gonna have a feast.
Okay, whatever you guys say. Next, Titans versus the Bengals. Sam?
I got my Tennessee Titans. Got Matt Hasselbeck having a comeback year. Nobody thought the old guy would do anything, but he's doing something in Tennessee. Now you got Chris 2K Johnson there.
Did you just say Chris 2K Johnson?
Yeah, 2K means 2000 if you didn't know.
Yes, we understand.
How about
that.
Chris 0K Johnson?
Okay, Blake, I'm pretty sure you were a believer earlier this year, so I don't want to hear you talking. But Chris Johnson, I think he has a breakout game this game. He busts a run for 75 yards
this week. What's his total yards this week?
152 touchdowns.
Touchdowns? 152 touchdowns?
You're straight up dumb. Anyway. You got a historic year this year.
You got the Bungles? You're talking about the Bungles here.
Historic year right now, though.
Keep talking.
It's a historic year right now for the Bengals. Andy Dalton and AJ Green, both rookies. And they're about to break the record for most yards between AJ Green and Andy Dalton. And they're very good. And don't forget about their defense. Number 3 in the league this year. They're still very good, and I think the Bengals win.
I totally agree with Blake. And Sam, coming from you yourself being a ginger, I don't know why you wouldn't jump on that Andy Dalton bandwagon, but okay. Next up, we got the Chiefs versus the Dolphins. Blake?
Well, in this game, I think I got the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins finally find their win, and since I also had the Colts win, no more winless teams this year after this week. And I think that Brandon Marshall will finally have a good game, and he won't drop the touchdown passes that he's been doing this year. And I think Reggae will also break a 60-yard run this week, and he will go over 100 yards rushing again.
Reggae. I like the Dolphins in this one. I mean, you got Matt Moore. Last week played a great game against the Giants. Just the team around him didn't do well. I think the team steps up, gets Matt Moore's first win as a Dolphin this season.
2 words, guys. That's it. Dwayne Bowe. That is all the Chiefs need this week. Dwayne Bowe would be the number 1 receiver in this league if it wasn't for Matt Castle. Matt Castle has not been proving himself very well. I think Dwayne Bowe is going to... I think he's going to break records in this game, personally.
Break records? You're saying like 250 yards more and 4 touchdowns or something crazy?
Yep. So you're saying that he's going to have Brandon Marshall type day. 21 receptions, 250 yards, maybe 3 touchdowns. That's what you're calling for.
Yep. That is what I'm calling for.
I don't think the forecast is going to be even close to that.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that. Next is Giants versus the Patriots. This is probably one of the biggest games this week.
Rematch of that Super Bowl game, and David Tyree catching it on his helmet. Most amazing game I've ever seen.
I haven't heard one Patriots fan who doesn't think that hits the ground. I think the Patriots hit the ground this week. I think they stumble for 2 straight losses. I think Eli Manning rumbles in there and says, yeah, we beat you in that Super Bowl. We'll beat you again.
Did you know that the Patriots have not lost at home in 3 years? But I do agree with you. I think the Giants get that win. I think Eli Manning has a pretty good game against that terrible pass defense.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Horrendous.
And then when you're playing against the Steelers, who are a resurgent team in the Steelers mindset, that they change their ways. Most of the time, the Steelers run the ball straight down your throat. This year, they're passing it. And a couple of days before the game, they cut Lee Bod in a corner. I don't think the Patriots have it this year. I don't think they got it.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, there's no Hakeem Nicks this week, so that's the big thing. But Victor Cruz, he might sneak up on you. He's very good at that.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think Victor Cruz is going to be Eli Manning's new favorite receiver. I think he's going to at least have 100 yards in this game receiving. It's going to be a good game. That's Eagles versus the Bears, and I'm pretty sure that we're all on the same page for this one. Am I right?
Eagles fly. Eagles fly.
I'm doing the bird dance.
Michael Vick has started to catch his stride, it seems like. Not getting injured and being able to rush and pass the ball. He's been very good the last few weeks. And LaShawn McCoy, what can we not say about him? Amazing. The Eagles have the #1 rushing team this year. Can you believe it?
Oh, I can believe it.
I can believe it too.
As you got a quarterback like Michael Vick, who's changed his ways. In Atlanta, he's a 100-yard rusher every game, but he's a 150-yard passer. Here in Philly, yeah, you get a little bit less rushing yards, but you got an accurate passer with a strong arm. He can make every throw on the field. Then you got LaShawn McCoy running around there. He's so small and fast, and he can accelerate through those holes. He has great vision. I mean, it takes 2 guys just to get their hands on him, let alone tackle him. I got the Eagles in this one.
Even against the Bears, I agree with both of you. The Eagles are going to crush the Bears. After that, we have the Ravens and Steelers.
I got the Steelers. Big Ben is on a flippin' roll. Roll. And I think Mike Wallace and Antonio Brown together will have 220 yards and 3 touchdowns together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, watching the Steelers just pick apart the Patriots. Everybody knew they were going to pick them apart on defense, but they stopped their offense too. Everybody coming into this game, they're thinking, oh, it's going to be a 40-point game for each team. Steelers roll the Patriots. They come into, actually Baltimore comes into Pittsburgh, and then they roll the Ravens. This isn't going to be a week 1 fluke like it was.
Mm-hmm.
I actually disagree with you on that one. The Ravens, after having 2 bad games, even though they won that last game against the Cardinals, I think they're not going to let this happen again.
Biased. Just because you have Joe Flacco on your fantasy team, you think that.
Hey, I ain't starting him this week.
Well, that's probably a smart idea.
Okay. And that concludes the
Week 9 matchups.
the Week 9 matchups. Thank you, Sam. For right now, we're going to just go through what we think are disappointments for this year. And, Blake, would you do the honors of reading off our disappointments?
Well, I guess some of the disappointments are pretty easy this year. And you got to start with the biggest one, Chris 2K Johnson. What has happened this year? I really do not know. In most fantasy leagues, he was drafted within the top 3. So, and he really has not given you production. If you drafted him, I feel really bad for you. He has sucked for you all the year. And next, we have to go to my Phillip Rivers.
Don't even get me started on Rivers. That guy looks like a completely different quarterback. Leads the league in interceptions. Did you think that was going to happen at the beginning of the season?
Oh, not really. I thought he was going to have another good year, but he just hasn't.
Didn't you draft him in the first round, Blake?
Obviously, I wanted him to do good, but he just hasn't.
Like, I feel sorry for you. You drafted him and Jamal Charles. Ooh, that was bad.
I feel your pain, Blade. I drafted Roddy White. Getting nothing out of that man right there. He's not doing too good this year. He may have a good week this week, but I got a solid 20 ranked receiver for him.
Anyway, but really, for him, it's because I think Julio Jones has really taken on that position. And they've kind of shared it. You see, none of them really has had a good game, but they both had solid. More Julio Jones has had a solid game, but then you got Roddy White. He's just not getting it with Matt Ryan.
Well, the Falcons have to give it to Julio Jones. I mean, they trade up. I mean, everybody was scrutinizing them. They gave away almost their entire draft just to get that kid. So you got to go out there and you got to say, hey, kid, make some plays. And I think that's really hurt Roddy White. Now, my disappointment team this year is the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody's saying, hey, this ain't a great team, but they better win that NFC West because, man, that division sucks. But then they come in here, they're 1-6 right now. Kevin Cobb has disappointed everybody.
And he got $40 million. And what has he done for them?
Nothing.
And get hurt.
I would say that only win that they got, all because of Beanie Wells. Beanie Wells is putting that team on his back.
That's true.
All right, now for the surprises of this year. People that we didn't think would do good at all. First off, we got Jimmy Graham, the New Orleans tight end. He is doing amazing. The number 1 tight end this season so far.
Oh, yeah. He's went from being a rookie, a second-year player, to already Drew Brees' favorite target. And you know how in that Saints offense, it's hard to be someone's favorite target, especially Drew Brees. And Drew Brees is...
Well, the thing is he's such a versatile guy. I mean, he's not one of those tight ends where you just throw to him in the red zone. He's a guy that makes plays down the middle of the field.
All right, and up next, our QB, the one, the only, Cam Newton. He is amazing. That was probably the best draft pick in a very long time.
But everybody was doubting him. They really were.
They were just saying that because he's a Russian quarterback. I mean, seriously, the dude has already tied Vince Young's record for most rushing touchdowns as a rookie QB. I mean, really, Cam Newton has just taken that Carolina franchise down in the pits. Everybody was saying, oh, they draft Cam Newton number 1 this year, then they're just going to suck for luck this year. Hey, I ain't sucking for no luck. Because you got Cam hitting it up in Carolina. Now, one surprise player that Cam Newton has really rejuvenated is Steve Smith. He's always been that 5'9" wide receiver everybody loves, but everybody's kind of like, if only he were bigger. If only he were bigger. Who needs to be big when you got Cam Newton, 6'6", standing in the pocket, feeding you the ball? Steve Smith, just an outstanding year.
He's relentless, though. He really is.
He does not like give honey badger.
First, then we got to go on to Fred Jackson of the Buffalo Bills. Now, where is he coming from? Oh, well, actually, he's actually been good for a few years now, but not that good. He's blown up this year, but he's actually had some solid years in the past, but no one's really recognized because Buffalo Bills suck. This year they're pretty good, and he is just amazing with them right now. Rushing and receiving. He has done it all for the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, Fred Jackson, the boy out of College, not co-ed college, College, COE. Look it up. I mean, nobody's heard of this dude. Nobody's even heard of the Bills' offense. I mean, you see the colleges they go to, nobody would expect that. It's a bunch of misfit toys sitting there, just leading that team to greatness. And Fred Jackson is the key to all of that.
I actually really appreciate the overall style of how Fred Jackson plays. He's an upright runner, which you don't really see a lot of upright runners doing good. I'm personally am an upright runner also, and he just one of my stars. I think he's really carrying those Buffalo Bills along with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
The Amish Rifle.
The Amish Rifle.
Mm-hmm. And another surprise team this year has been the Bengals.
The Bengals.
The Bengals, at first, I thought that they were going to go 1-15. I really did. Drafting Andy Dalton and A.J. Green. Who thought they would be good? But they have taken the world by storm. They really have. A.J. Green might break every single record for rookie wide receiver. He's that good. He's that good, guys. Take a look. You should watch it.
I love me some Green.
Ha ha. That's really funny.
Green's my favorite.
Anyway. And now it's time to go on to our top 5 quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers for fantasy this week. Porter, let's start it off with quarterbacks.
All right. For number 5, I got the one, the only, Matt Ryan. Going up against the Indianapolis Colts, I think he's just going to have an amazing game. Number 4, I got Tom Brady. Tom Brady is just Tom Brady. He's just probably one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. Even though they're playing the Giants defense, which is a really, really good defense, I think he's still going to have himself a pretty good games. And then, number 3, I got Michael Vick. Michael Vick is probably my all-time favorite left-handed person in general. I don't care what he's done in his life before football, before the Eagles football. I don't care about that. He's just an all-out amazing player. And then my number 2 is Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, he's just amazing. I think he's going to just cream Vic and Brady for what they have done. I personally think that Rodgers is the perfect combination of Vic and Brady. And then my number 1 pick is going to be Drew Brees. Playing against a team like the Buccaneers, having that horrid defense, I think he's just going to go off. Sam?
For my top 5 wide receivers, some of these names are not household names. So at number 5, I got Victor Cruz. That boy is getting more and more in that Giants offense. I mean, seriously, you just see him expand his role every week. Number 4, I got Greg Jennings. How do you not have one of the Packers receivers in your top 5 every week? I mean, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, I mean, that offense is just legit. Number 3, I got Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, yeah, Kevin Cobb's out, but who needs Kevin Cobb in Arizona? You got John Skelton. All he's got to do is toss it up, and Fitzgerald's going to catch it. Number 2, I got Wes Welker. I mean, the little guy, he can do it all. He's just an amazing route runner, and I think you're going to see Brady hit up with him early because if you watch that Pittsburgh game, he did not do well. And number 1, I got Dwayne Bowe. The boy in Kansas City. Always this disgruntled wide receiver. Last year came into his own, and this year I think he's going to do the same thing. And this week especially against Miami. Blake with the running backs.
Okay, well first, for number 5 pick, I have Michael, the Burner Turner. Against the Colts, let's admit it, the Colts, they're just not good this year. Although I have them picking to win, it's going to be a shootout. It really will. It's going to have to be a shootout, and Michael Turner is going to try to keep Atlanta in the game. Frank Gore is number 4. Frank Gore playing that Redskins defense. I know it's pretty good, but Frank Gore is a different kind of animal. He really is. When he gets the ball, he runs as hard as he possibly can, and he's going to run it between the tackles. With number 3, I got Aaron Foster playing the pathetic Cleveland Browns. And now, Sam, there's no way the Browns are going to win. You know that. You know that. We all know that. But for some reason, you picked the Browns anyway.
Colt McCoy up in your face.
Shut up. Anyway, Aaron Foster does it both receiving and rushing. And he's the only... Anyway, I forgot what I was going to say. And number 2, we got Fred Jackson. Fred Jackson playing the Jets. The Jets this year surprisingly have given up a lot of points to running backs in fantasy. They actually gave up the biggest one to Darren McFadden. He had 180 yards rushing that day. And number 1, I got Matt Forte going up the pathetic Eagles run defense. It seems like anybody can run on him. Heck, my sister could run on him. It doesn't matter. Matt Forte will have 160 yards rushing this week at least. And now, well, that's about it for the show. If you want to follow us, you got to like our Facebook page. And this is signed off, Radical Sports Network.